Hey guys, Finn here, that is of course FYNN, and yeah, I know I'm standing up just because I thought, well, why not? It brings a bit more energy if I can stand up, if I move a bit more compared to if I'm just sitting and I'm just doing absolutely nothing. And it looks like I'm being more productive and it makes my videos look better compared to if I'm just sitting still. Okay. You know, and yeah, I'm my own boss, so why not? But yeah, it's time for the match week 7 predictions along with my fantasy team. And now, of course, if you do enjoy this, remember this is my weekly series and I do this every week. You guys can check out the other episodes if you want, or you guys can just subscribe. Just subscribe, it is amazing. You will not regret it. I promise you, if you regret it, I'll personally come to your house and apologize.
Don't hold my word against that.
Okay, now of course, yeah, let's just get straight into it. Sheffield versus Liverpool, the first one. It is Sheffield at home, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a Liverpool 4-0 win versus Sheffield. Purely just because Liverpool, once again, just super strong. Look, they did slack off a tiny bit against Chelsea, but they still ended up getting a decent win, and Chelsea aren't that strong anyway. I mean, Sheffield pulled the biggest surprise off the bag by beating Everton 2-0. At the end of the day, I still think it's just going to be a Liverpool 4-0 just because, well, it's just one of those results that we can see happening because Liverpool just seem totally unbeatable. Yes, they lost to Napoli in the Champions League, but Premier League, I mean, is this year their year? Just tell me above. I'll put a voting thing up above. Or actually, no, my phone has problems with that. Tell me in the comment section down below, do you think this is Liverpool's year? Let's get into the next result. Bournemouth versus West Ham. Look, West Ham haven't lost their last 5 games. I'm so disappointed in Manchester United. Oh my word. Now, if you haven't seen, I did obviously comment about that game because this is mainly Manchester United channel. But yeah, I think it's going to be Bournemouth 2-1 win versus West Ham. I think Bournemouth are looking just so strong. I mean, I was surprised that they got that huge win against Everton a few weeks back. And of course, they've actually just been in pretty good form. I do think they're in the top 4 now, if I'm not mistaken, or at least they're around that area. So yeah, I just think it's going to be a 2-1 win against West Ham for Bournemouth. Aston Villa versus Burnley. Look, now according to how I've been doing my stuff with this prediction series, normally I'd like to say I think Burnley's the kind of team that Aston Villa can think, but Burnley, sorry, has been a total shocker this season so far, and I think Burnley's going to shock us by getting a 2-0 win over Aston Villa. I mean, look, knowing my luck, this means that Aston Villa is going to win, but I don't mind too much what happens with this one. Very similar teams at the moment. Can Aston Villa actually start picking up on form? Because I don't think they've really started to pick up form that we expected them that they should, because they do have a pretty decent team, but they haven't done that yet. Burnley have just started much better than all of us thought. So yeah, I'm going to go with Burnley 2-0. Chelsea versus Brighton. Now, of course, I heard a bunch of people saying rubbish like Chelsea's going to be the team that stops Liverpool.
This is great banter. It really is.
I mean, that is total rubbish. I don't know what you're on for that. But yeah, I have to say 3-1 win to Chelsea just because their defense is shocking. They will still concede a goal. Yeah, but I can see Abraham and Mount or something like that happening. I'm still yet to see enough of Batshuayi compared to what I would see. But once again, Abraham's one of the top scorers in the Premier League in total this season. So yeah, I just say 3-1 just because I think they're going to be totally outdone Brighton by Chelsea, although their pace can lead to a goal along with Chelsea's sloppy defense. Palace versus Norwich. Now this is like the one where I spoke about Aston Villa was saying, no, I think this team will win this time. I think they'll win this time. Palace versus Norwich, I think it's going to be very close. Look, Palace has been shocking everyone so far in the Premier League. Once again, shut up Manchester United. But yeah, I think it's going to be 2 Norwich. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Norwich. I think Pukki's going to probably end up scoring. I know I say that in all my games, but it's hardly ever wrong. Yeah, but overall Palace, I mean, looking very strong, but once again, we kind of see the play around the back from Norwich. We see the pace up front. I mean, look, this is going to be one of the closest ones this week, but yeah, I definitely think that. Yeah, let's get into the next result. Next one, Spurs versus Southampton. I mean, look, they lost to City, which I wasn't close in my last prediction. I said it was going to be a draw, a 2-2 draw. It was a 2-1 win to Leicester. At the end of the day, Spurs really do have to pick up on form because this is what they're known for. They're known for bottling. They're known for making mistakes. And that's the only reason why they can't win the Premier League is because everyone actually expects them to make mistakes like this. But I think it's going to be a 2-0 win to Spurs. I think they are going to get a clean sheet. And yeah, as I said, I just see Spurs as a stronger team. but I won't be surprised if they do make a mistake or two. Wolves versus Watford, the two lowest teams on the table at the moment. I mean, Watford absolutely dreadful, losing 8-0 to City. I mean, that is beyond dreadful. I mean, wow, Watford. I mean, yeah, and Wolves not looking too bad in total. I have to say 2-0 Wolves. I keep on saying every week, I keep saying this is going to be Wolves' first win of the season. Then they end up doing me wrong, and then it just proves me wrong all over again. Yeah, but I just see Wolves as a much better team than Watford. As we said, Wolves were like 7th at the end of last season. I mean, Watford were mid-table at the end of last season, but the way they've started this season, I cannot see them winning against Wolves. 2-0 to Wolves. Leicester versus Newcastle. Now, I think Leicester was absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. How they lost to Manchester United a few weeks ago, I have no idea. Yeah, but once again, they also beat Spurs. They just beat Spurs. They are looking so strong. Newcastle has its ups and downs, but I don't think they're going to manage with the actual physicality and the actual pace and intensity that Leicester can bring through the likes of Vardy. So I'm going to say a 3-1 win to Leicester. It's going to be a very comfortable win. They might concede a sloppy goal. That's where the one goal comes from. But yeah, 3-1 Leicester. Everton versus City. Look, Everton have just been dreadful. No, I want to say something close, like a 2-3, or I want to say something along the likes of that. I really do want to say that, but at the end of the day, I think City's just going to really come back stronger than ever. 4-1 to Manchester City versus Everton. I know that's a crazy one. I know Everton's at home, but I just really see it being a shocking result. I really just see it being something like, I don't know, I can really just see Everton saying, yo, I think we're ready for this game, I'm ready to compete, and then they lose. That's what's been happening lately with Everton. Tell me if you guys agree with that. Last one is United versus Arsenal. I've backed Manchester United the whole way. They are just looking so bad. They have moments of brilliance, but once again, their man marking's horrible, their intensity is horrible, their confidence is horrible. I am going to go with a 2-1 win to Arsenal. I could comfortably go with a 3-1 win, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I can't see us really doing that bad. I mean, look, I could be horribly mistaken, but I'm just going to go with a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Even though it is at Old Trafford, I think that we could find trouble when it comes to matching the likes of the pace of Aubameyang, or I can feel like a Lacazette definitely scoring, or something along the lines of that. Now for my fantasy team, okay, my fantasy team, of course, I'll put on screen. I've made quite a lot of changes in some of the areas. Some of the areas I keep exactly the same. In goal, I'm going to put Liverpool's Adrian. Once again, if they win 4-0 to Sheffield, that is a very comfortable win for Adrian, the keeper. I'm hoping Alisson Becker doesn't make like a surprise early return or something like that and put Adrian on the bench. But yeah, otherwise I'm very comfortable with putting him in the team. Yes, he does make mistakes, but I can definitely see him getting a clean sheet versus a team like Sheffield. My defense, of course, normal Wan-Bissaka, absolute beast. One of the only people who's guaranteed points for Manchester United, so I'm going to end up putting him there in case something shocking happens and United do end up beating Arsenal, or even not, some defensive movements from Wan-Bissaka could get me points. Virgil van Dijk, always in my team, once again guaranteed points. Also, if Liverpool gain points, Alderweireld from Spurs, definitely going to get points if there are points for Spurs, which I did say I think Spurs will get a win, and I do think they'll get a clean sheet, therefore that's points for him. Socrates from Arsenal, just in case Arsenal do win, and it does happen to what I think, because as I said, United's attack's been very shaky, and therefore they're not going to score a lot, and Socrates could play a huge role in that. Yeah, something like that. Midfielder Kevin De Bruyne, always there, always creating chances, absolute beast of the game, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League era in my opinion. That's why I've put him in there, and he will get an assist or so if they do end up getting that comfortable win over Everton, along with Sterling. Same reason, always my captain, because I do think he's one of the best in the Premier League at the moment. Yeah, definitely going to keep him in there as normal. Maddison, always going to keep him in there. I think there is a slight chance he might not play because he might be slightly injured, but once again, he just proved me right by putting in the team last week versus Spurs. Last one, Ruben Neves from Wolves. Once again, as I said, if Wolves get that win, it's a clean sheet and they get attacking points. I think Neves is just really the kind of player in the position he is. He'll get quite a few points. My attackers, I've changed around. I've got Abraham in there from Chelsea just because he's in such a beast fight mode. I think he'll definitely get points there, along with Jota from Wolves. Definitely those two strikers are going to get points. As you'll see, I have put Timo Pukki on the bench just because out of all my strikers, I think he's in the team that's least likely to get the win in comparison to the other strikers. That's why I've put Pookie on the bench, but definitely never getting rid of this man. He is an absolute Finnish legend. Schmeichel, the goalkeeper, I have on bench just because in case Leicester get that win. It is very possible versus Newcastle, and Schmeichel's a very good goalkeeper. I could almost put him as my starting one if it wasn't for Liverpool being in such good form. Digne from Everton, once again, if Everton ends up losing, but if they end up winning, that's why I've put him there for points. Last one, Harry Wilson from Bournemouth, got me points last week. Very happy with him. Going to keep him in there just in case Bournemouth get points. But guys, that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Tell me if you want me to stand up for more videos, if it brings more energy to the video. But at the end of the day, guys, if you have enjoyed this, please do like, share, subscribe, all of the good stuff. Very close to 200 subscribers. And yeah, I love doing it for you guys. But this has been Finn, FYNN. Stay awesome. Cheers.